Okay, welcome to followmetrades.com. This is a special session of our Real Traders Club live session where we're going to do a tutorial on using the scanning tools in ThinkorSwim. I know we have several guests here. Glad you could make it. All right, we'll just jump right into it. I've been playing around with this. For a long time I was using TradeStation, and I still like it, but over a year ago I made a switch over here to ThinkorSwim, and it's probably the most popular trading platform people are using, and I like it. And I'm still exploring the corners of it as I learn stuff. Go ahead and share that. And this using the scanning tool, I can't take credit for discovering this on my own. One of our customers, Jack, had recorded a video. It really helped me. It's about a 45-minute video, and I think I can condense that and make that into a little bit simpler thing for you guys to use. So this is the standard ThinkorSwim layout. People can configure it differently. But I've got over here the news for whatever symbol we've got on the chart. We got a news feed. We've got a watch list here. We got a chart with a handful of indicators on it. And you can see I'm using simple moving average, a 200-day, a 50-day. I've got a special version of the Ichimoku cloud that's available to our subscribers. And then I've got a price oscillator. So this is my basic indicator setup. I'm showing canopy growth. We just triggered this trade. We just went long this morning on canopy. It's got a really, really nice pattern, nice setup here. All right. But the scanner, how do you use the built-in scan in ThinkorSwim to find great trade candidates? So you click on the tab that says scan. Is a good place to start. Then if you're looking for stocks, you go to Stock Hacker. Okay, I've got a scan predefined here, and I can refresh it. And you can see it comes up with a list. This scan is, I call it the FMT bullish cloud and 50-day cross last 3 days. So it's looking for long trades that are above the Ichimoku cloud and that in the last 50 days crossed above the 50-day moving average. You can see it comes up, and I've tried to define it. So it comes up with, a manageable list, right? I don't want 100 stocks to go look at. I want 10 to 15. In this case, we got, looks like about 10. And you can see these are the stocks that came up in the scan that I have defined. And I'll show you how to build this scan. And it's funny, it's got AMC there, which, if you've been following that, it did cross the 50-day moving average in the last 3 days, but it's also pulling back significantly. So any scan you're going to define, right, it's going to give you ideas. It's going to give you candidates. Not all of them are good, right? And then not everything that's good is going to be found in the scan, but it does give you, helps you scan the entire market and find things. And you're always going to want to go look at a chart and see if that is a good trade. And some of these I know are actually good trades. And John has typed in a good morning. Good morning to you, John. All right, so how do you configure a scan? Let's walk through it step by step. So again, you go to the scan tab to Stock Hacker, and I'm going to delete all these criteria. We're just going to build it from scratch. So now we have no criteria. And what we're going to do is click here to say add a filter, okay, for stock. Okay. And now in this, and you can see the choices under add a filter. You can do, just some basic stuff on stock options, fundamental study patterns. Okay. So we're going to start with just some basic criteria for a stock, right? And you can see here it is, we're looking at the criteria of stock, and it's got some attributes that you can choose. Now, I like to filter, we're going to filter on some studies, on some indicators, but first I just want to qualify it because I'm only going to trade, real companies. There's, about 8,000 publicly listed securities, on the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, big exchanges, right? A lot of them are good, but not all of them are really great tradable stocks. We want to make sure we're only going to be looking at real companies, right, that have good market liquidity, and real market cap, and they're optionable. Okay, so the first criteria I'm going to go here is on price. I'm just going to filter on price, and I'll just use last price. And now I can put in a minimum, and I'm going to put in $2. You know, I don't mind trading lower cost stocks. I don't trade penny stocks, right? And I'm going to put in a maximum of, we're going to put $200. Just a good place to start. And you can change this by moving these sliders, or you can just type it into the box here. Kind of cool feature. All right, so why $200? Because I like to trade options. And if you get up into a, you know, a Costco or an Nvidia, right, you know, $1,000 stock, the option contracts are going to be expensive. Now, that doesn't mean we don't trade them, but in terms of scanning, this is the sweet spot where I'm going to be looking between $2 and between $200. So that's my first criteria. And you can see it said, okay, we got 16,000 matches. That's a lot of companies, right? So I'm going to add another filter on stock, right? That's my price. Right now, I'm going to go look at volume, right? Because I only want to trade things that have, you know, good liquidity in the market. You know, something that trades 10,000 shares a day, it's going to be hard to trade. So I'm just going to go 1,000,000. No maximum. So I just want 1,000,000 shares per day on average, right? It says, oh, there's 9,000 of those. Okay. And then let's go add another filter. And I'm not sure if it's under stock or fundamentals. I want market cap. Let's see if it's here. Market cap in millions. Okay. So I want, you know, a real company. And this is market cap in millions. Let's just go 1 billion, right? $1 billion market cap, which isn't that big of a company these days. Okay. And it says, okay, now we're down, you know, you got, you know, 16,000 that meet my price criteria, 600 that meet my volume criteria, 11,000 that meet my market cap criteria. So as I apply indicators now, it's only going to look at the indicators and return companies that have, you know, meet this basic criteria for the price, the volume, the market cap. Okay. And at this point, I can go add indicators, or as they're called in ThinkorSwim, studies, right? So I'm going to add a filter. In this case, I'm going to go to a study. Okay. And at this point, they have some predefined ones here, right? You know, all kinds, pretty much any study that can be put onto a chart, you can put into a scan, right? And you can go here to custom. And for some reason, by default, it puts this ADX crossover in. I don't want that one. All right, so let's add a condition. And now it's going to bring up all the indicators. And we'll go study, right? And like I said, I have a custom Ichimoku cloud, right? It's called FMT Ichimoku. That's available to all my subscribers. And it's already got, you know, the variables put in here. Right now I can put in a criteria, right? And I can go, you know, I want to cross, and then I select a condition, again, study, right? And so I'll show you how I did that rather than walking through it. Let's go ahead and open the study that I have saved. And this is what's part of what's cool is you can, as you develop a scan, you can save it, you can name it, and then, you know, once you do that, then you can load it. Here's a list of the ones that I've created and saved, right? So here's that one we started with, the FMT bullish iCloud 50-day cross last 3 days, okay? So I've got the study, I got simple moving average defined, right? Simple moving average open, length of 50. So, you know, simple moving average, one moving average line. I set it at 50 because I want to see when it crosses the 50-day moving average. And so when the SMA is below the open, it's kind of a weird terminology, right? Within 3 bars. So in the last 3 days, and, you know, that's an important point to, let's see if it loads it up here. Edit, here it is, okay? You make sure you set this tab right here to daily, right? Or otherwise you can choose intraday periods if you want for scanning, right? But here it is, you know, simple moving average 50, right? And then my parameter is when it crosses below. It's a little misleading because what we want here is when the line, the 50-day moving average is below price, right? I was confused. I put crosses above. I thought that meant price, and it wasn't working right. So when you want, when you want price above the 50-day moving average, you put crosses below. The line crosses below price. Okay. And then I've got my price oscillator, which I showed you on my chart down here. This is a great momentum indicator. So what I'm saying in my scan is I want the price oscillator to be greater than zero, which, the price oscillator, it's negative on a downtrend and it's positive on an uptrend. So what I'm saying is I want price above the 50-day moving average. I want it above the Ichimoku cloud, and I want a positive oscillator. And I want all that to have happened in the last 3 days. Why 3? Well, that tells me something new is happening, right? If the price, the Ichimoku cloud goes positive, if price goes above a moving average like the 50-day, which is a good one for daily charts, and my momentum oscillator goes positive, right? That tells me, hey, something new is happening, and I would like to go look at this chart and see if it's something that I would want to trade. Okay, so that's my bullish scan, and I can come over here and I can load one. I got the exact same one. It's just the values are reversed, and that would be bearish. So I load that. There it is, and I can run the scan, and it's going to return this list down here of potential bearish candidates. Okay. Now here's what's, I think that's super cool right there, right? Wow, I got the scan, this criteria, I can come run it whenever I want, whenever I want to try and find trades, right? Of course, we're always going to go look at the chart. But when I define this scan and I save it, right, I can save this scan query, I can name it whatever I want. This is the FMT bearish iCloud 50-day cross last 30 days, last 3 days. Right. So now I've saved this scan. I've run the scan. I press the scan button. Now on my watch list, right over here, it automatically creates a watch list that is named the same thing as the scan. So I go over here to watch list. I go here to personal, and oh look, here it is: FMT bearish iCloud 50-day cross. So I can click that. And now look here, all these symbols that were returned in the scan are now over here in watch list. And that's cool because you see this little yellow 2. This is linking. And so I can link this with whatever color I want to my chart, which I also have linked as yellow. So these 2 are linked. So all I got to do is click on that symbol, and it brings AFRM up onto my chart. And now I can very quickly run my scan, or, I've run the scan. I can now look at the results of that scan on a chart and go, does this meet my criteria? These were bearish trades. Now, I don't really like that one. It's coming right into a 200-day moving average support. No, that's not good. This one is open door. That actually looks like a pretty decent. And what I'm going to do is first is step out. Called auto zoom. Come on. There it is. This is big picture, right? Auto zoom, right? What's been happening over the last, this year, last year, year before, right? That's I load 5 years worth of data. Okay. This is what we call a bottom feeder. This thing's been beaten down terribly. Okay. Now I can zoom in and go, it looks like this is a floor. Okay. This is a continuous low. It is heading down, right? It's got below the 50-day moving average. Clouds red. The oscillator kind of flatlined, but it's only looks like it's only it's a $2.44 stock right now. We got a floor coming up here to $1.80. So that one doesn't look great. PAA. That's what this one is. Okay, this is in a downtrend, right? It was heading up. Low, lower, high, low, lower, high, heading lower. Clouds yellow. It's below the 50. Oscillators negative. What's the big picture look like? Okay. So this one, unlike the last one, this has been in a long uptrend. And we know big long uptrends quite often at some point correct. And we can go, okay, we can use very simple Elliott wave Fibonacci retracements, put some retracement lines, go, what would be the target for that retracement? Well, it's between these two green lines, 38.2 and 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. And we got the 200-day moving average coming up, which could be a support level. So we zoom in here and say, would this be a good trade, right? If we got a target, in my methodology, I put my stop. We always trade with an exit level, right? At the last reversal point, we would take an entry here, and our target, we got the 200-day, we got the top of the retracement zones. We're going to be a little conservative and say, what if it gets support at the 200, which it has in the past? Well, that's a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. This is your risk. This is your reward. So that may not be bad. Okay. They are past earnings. That's already happened. So that's good. So, pretty quickly, we were able to run a scan and come up with a pretty decent trade candidate. And again, the process would be, right, here's my scan. Let's just run the other one. Let's run the bullish one. Okay. So if I were to just sit down and go, I'm going to go look for some trades, man. So load the trade, load the scan, bullish, scan, come over here, look at it on my watch list, and then start looking at the candidates on the charts. That's a pretty smooth, straightforward process. I'm not interested in AMC, obviously. DT, what's going on with DT? Okay. Chugging along on the bottom, had earnings, did a breakout right up against the 200. I would want to see that develop before I tried to trade it. Ericsson, I think it's Ericsson. It is. Earnings back here. Some kind of news came out. It gapped up. It's consolidating. I would want to pull back and then try to see if it goes up again. GE's down today, but what's going on with GE? Okay, it's in big uptrend. Finding support on the cloud. Looks like it could go on to new highs. So that could be a decent one. We're past earnings. Looks good. Lucid. Oops. All right. It's got this prior high that's been real resistance. If it can break through that, maybe we could put that on a watch list. Keep an eye on it. ON. Gap up on earnings. It's heading up. Probably going to come fill this gap, so I'm not going to chase that one up. Plug had a huge breakout on, we follow this one. That's a cool company. They're going to get a 1.5 billion from the government to go build factories to make clean hydrogen. So this big gap up after this, enormous move, we expect it to retrace. So once this turns, this could be a good one to watch and see about going long on Plug in a day or two. All right, so that's the process, right? I showed you how to, access the scan, use Stock Hacker, how to create a scan, how to save it, and then how to pull it up, put it on a watch list, and your watch list is linked to your chart. So I just think that's a pretty cool, pretty smooth process, and this is a very powerful tool. And so, yeah, once I put that all together, I just wanted to share it with you guys. So I said this would be short, and it was. So I'd be happy to, if you got any questions, to fire away.
Dean, would you go over again the link after you got your list
Uh-huh.
for it to go into your watch list on the left-hand side? How did you
Yeah.
do that? I missed that.
Yeah. So when you save a scan, right, you come over here to
Mm-hmm.
this menu, right, and you got, you've created a scan. You can say save it, and you just put whatever name you want here.
Right.
Once you've saved it, it automatically creates a watch list with that same name. It gets added. You don't have to do anything. And I'll even demonstrate that. Save scan query. We're just going to go Uh,
No, mine doesn't do it automatically. I can, it comes up with a safe watch list. You can put a name in.
I just saved this and I just called it TOS tutorial 516. Now, if I come over here to my, you got to go to personal here, right?
Right.
And there it is,
Yeah. Yeah.
TOS tutorial. It may not be, when you're saving here, it could be that you have a default location set somewhere, right? You have to go look in your settings and see if you're saving it because, these groups, right? Uh, there's all these personal, public, blah, 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 blah. There's different places that could be saved. So that may be the issue, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Well, did you like it? Did you find that helpful? Give me a yes or a thumbs up or something in the chat. This helps me know whether we should do things like this in the future.
I hadn't done the custom before, and that was helpful.
Okay, so you were using the predefined?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, it looks like um, good positive response there. Okay. Well, that's it. I am gonna we did record this, gonna post it in the Real Traders Club forum. And for people that aren't members, don't have access, I will send you a link to where you can go watch it. Okay, said it would be short and sweet. Tried to keep it that way. We're just over 20 minutes. Cool. All right. Take care. Trade safe. Keep your winners big, your losers small. And I'll send out a note when we get that recording posted. All right. Thanks.